In comes Tokus, we fire one wing attack and the blast burn. This will be getting the final shield or big damage. The opponent shits their pants and shield it up. But guess what, motherfucker? This is the absolute spice zone. In comes Luxray. Wild Charge is going to obliterate the stupid Charmer. Get wrecked, back out. Comes Obstagoon and you can have a Wild Charge as well. So, welcome back to the home of Shadow Pokemon. Today we are doing something very different. I did post in my community tab saying I'm running out of ideas, resources, etc. to play this cup. I'm super over the Ultra League, Holiday Cup. There's so few viable Shadow Pokemon, which makes putting out content super difficult. Today I powered up Luxray, which cost me almost another 250,000 dust, and I made a team with an F for bulk. And to be honest, I got pretty fucking wrecked. But let's go and have a look what it's like in the life of someone that only uses Shadow Pokemon for GBL. Getting into the battles in Game 1, we pick up a great lead. Charizard into Alolan Ninetales. The opponent save switches into Ampharos and we answer with Piloswine. The opponent is going to shield up. They're now at the Focus Blast. I am going to respect a potential Focus Blast. The opponent baits me with a Brutal Swing. We are now going to outpace to the next move before they get to one more. What could be a Focus Blast? I'm not willing to go down 2 shields as Luxray is absolutely made of paper. If you think you've seen a squishy Pokemon, wait till you've seen Luxray. Take a hit. The opponent does nuke me with the Focus Blast. We now come in to Luxray. I need to ensure I don't get hit with a Focus Blast. I am going to fire off the Psychic Fangs. I've got no idea if this knocks out, as I just powered it up and went into battle. It doesn't knock out. The opponent now pivots out into Ninetales, looking to draw back out my Charizard and bank the Psychic Fang. For later, I fire off a Blast Burn on a CMP tie. This will be nuking the shit out of the stupid Charmer. Back out will come the Ampharos. We know they haven't got Thunder Punch, so we are going to tank this move, get off the Dragon Claw and hope that Luxray, with a shield, can nuke the shit out of whatever is in the back. Dragon Claw will be knocking out, and that final Pokemon is Giratina, and we don't have Crunch, we're using Wild Charge, so I concede the match. Fuck my life, not off to a good start. Moving on to the next one. We see another Ninetales in the lead. Pretty good for our Charizard. However, Obstagoon is absolutely dreadful. Believe it or not, Charizard loses the 0 shields. The opponent goes for an Obstruct. I'm going to counter 4. Throw the Blast Burn. I'm going to look to pivot out into Luxray. But trust me, Luxray isn't going to appreciate count as Obstagoon now deep in the red. Surely I can spark this Obstagoon all the way down. Luxray pretty attack weighted, and that does massive damage. The opponent gets the boost. Oh my days, we are looking at pretty dreadful. As if this wasn't bad enough, we now shield up the Night Stash. They get another boost. Fuck my life. GBL, why do you do this to me? I'm now forced to fire off the Psychic Fangs. The opponent shielded once, trying to ride the boost, but guess what, motherfucker? We've got Psychic Fang number 2. Finally, down goes Obstagoon. There's minimal farm for the Ninetales. Switch timers are misaligned. I am going to come back into Charizard after waiting out my timer. The opponent brings out Giratina, and you can see the tilt is still evident as I throw a charge move for no reason whatsoever. So now I am going to look to catch the Dragon Claw, banking the Blast Burn on Piloswine. So we still have a chance of winning this game. The opponent fires off the Dragon Claw. Piloswine is going to need to throw. I am going to look to go for the very aggressive Powder Snow Farm down. I don't think I am going to make it, but fuck it, we'll try anyway. I shield once. Come on, Piloswine, get there, and we don't get there. You hate to see it. So, misplays left, right, and centre. Who says content creators only show their wins? You're going to get to see me play like a fucking potato. Back out comes Ninetales. I never bait, but the opponent's obviously going to shield. I throw the Dragon Claw, and I'm going to get Charm down, Farm down, and we're off to a 0-2 start. You love to see it. Moving on to the next one. We see Virizion in the lead. You love to see it. The opponent save switches into a Walrein. Not fantastic. We are going to look to tank a charge move, lowering the health of the Walrus. I imagine this should be Wild Charge range, so I come in to Luxray. The opponent is building up towards what could be an Earthquake, and we aren't going to bait. We're going straight for the Wild Charge. Does the opponent respect the damage? They do not. Down goes Walrein. Back out comes Virizion. I'm going to throw 4 Sparks and the Psychic Fang. For good fast move timing, we need to stop playing like a fucking potato to get some wins. The opponent is going to stay in. They're still not throwing a charge move. I do throw on alignment, but I just want to guarantee some chip damage. We get a shield from the opponent, and at this stage now, they're double debuffed. I'm just going to put it all on Piloswine. I come in to Charizard, and it is Aurorus in the back. I'm going straight for the Hail Mary. Does the opponent respect the damage? Yes, they do. In comes Piloswine. I know that Virizion has about 6,892 energy, so I am going to call the bait, and the opponent baits me, and that is going to be all she wrote, and we finally are off to a win. Moving on to the next one. We see Talonflame in the lead. Charizard takes 14 turns to get to the Blast Burn. Talonflame takes 15 turns. I'm going to go straight for the Blast Burn, pivot out instantly into Luxray and attempt to catch a resisted move. The opponent doesn't throw, they hold their energy. They are going to go for a Flame Charge, and ouch, that does massive damage. We can't spark all the way down, so I am going to be forced to throw the Psychic Fangs. Psychic Fangs will be knocking out, and you can see Luxray just from 2 Incinerates and a non-boosted Flame Charge is left deep in the red, and now the opponent has a Core Breaker for the remainder of my team. I'm going to YOLO the Wild Charge lands for big damage. Can we make the Psychic Fang? We cannot. We are now in absolute danger. I'm going to come in, show him the Piloswine, and look to get fancy catching the resisted Magnet Bomb on our Charizard. We do manage to pull that maneuver off, so hopefully it's something like Giratina in the back. The opponent has a boatload of energy. I'm just going to sack Charizard and look to Powder Snow, farm them all the way down. Can we get the Powder Snow farm down before the next charge move? We cannot. We are going to have to respect the Magnet Bombs. We would get obliterated. Let's see what that final Pokemon is, and it is Staraptor. We have a slight bit of a chance here. We aren't even going to bubble this. It takes 12 wing attacks to get to the back-to-back close combat. So the opponent is building up. You can see that at the back-to-back. We lose CMP, so I am going to shield this up. The opponent is going to win CMP the second time, and this game is going to be a heartbreaking loss. The opponent obviously is going to shield. We have the back-to-back. They also do, and we lose CMP, and we take another loss. This is getting quite frustrating, believe it or not. Moving on to the next battle, Obstagoon. Let's see if we can manage to pull off some dubs. Obstagoon is staying in. I'm not going to shield the first move, as these pesky Obstagoons like to go for obstructs. The opponent goes straight for a Night Slash. They now look to catch on Giratina. I hold my energy and come in to Piloswine. Piloswine, a pretty good response. For Giratina, we don't need to shield up unless they get the boost, and no boost. Pretty good. We are now going to throw off a Avalanche. Avalanche will be knocking out or drawing a shield from Giratina. Giratina tanks it on the chin when Obstagoon does return. I am going to get to a charge move, and Piloswine hits like a fucking truck. Back out comes the Goon. We fire off the Avalanche. Is the opponent willing to give up a shield? They are not. Just the Avalanche and the Powder Snows are going to put this into Dragon Claw range. I've got the move locked and loaded. Dragon Claw is either going to knock out or draw a shield. The opponent obviously doesn't want to go down with the energy. I am going to match shields because Luxray can't spark down, as we saw previously. The opponent now brings in Togekiss, and this is where Luxray is going to shine. We throw one wing attack and the Blast Burn. The opponent shits their pants, and hi Togekiss, you are playing the absolute Spice Lord. We bring out Luxray. Luxray over farms, Wild Charge, gonna vanquish Togekiss, back to its Pokeball, feed me that Obstagoon. They can try and counter, farm me down, but Luxray says, hold my fucking beer. We are gonna get a dub today. GG's, and thanks for playing. You can see by the amount of lag that the opponent force closed the app thinking, fuck my life, how did I lose this nonsense team? Moving on to the next battle, we see the Charizard mirror. So again, misplay. I take the extra, knowing that I lose CMP. The opponent is at 7. I should just throw 1 and the Blast Burn, but like a fucking potato, I throw 2. I now lose CMP. Dragon Claw would be lethal, so I am going to be forced to shield it up. I am going to now return fire with the Blast Burn. If the opponent doesn't shield, I'm going to look to snipe with Luxray. The opponent lets it go. We do get the snipe, but I'm still pretty salty that I played like a potato in the opening. The opponent now comes in to Virizion. Not the best response for Luxray, as we do have access to Psychic Fangs we throw at good timing. The opponent shields the first. Not the best, as subsequent Psychic Fangs do more damage. The opponent now throws the Sacred Sword. Ouch, that hurt. We throw 1 Spark and the next Psychic Fangs. This should now do some respectable damage, but we're never going to find out as the opponent double shielded. We actually make 1 more Psychic Fangs. This is 2-stage debuff. Surely this does big damage, and it does fucking not. But we've got it pretty low. The opponent is going to throw a charge move, which is going to sack Charizard. They go for the Stone Edge. Surely Piloswine can clean up, and it's Obstagoon. Holy crap. Tough decision to make. I am going to call. They go for a Night Slash, fishing for the boost, and they don't. They hit me with a cross chop, and now we're just going to lose, because even if I get rid of this Obstagoon, that Virizion is far too healthy. I throw the Avalanche. It doesn't knock out, and we're going to get countered farm down for another fucking loss. And moving on to the next one. Dreadful lead. We say switch into Luxray. The opponent is staying in. I am going to be fearful of a potential Focus Blast. They've now threw 5 Volt Switches. I am going to fire off the Psychic Fangs. Psychic Fangs goes unshielded. I highly doubt the opponent is going to YOLO a Focus Blast. It's just a brutal swing. They're at the back-to-back, so I am going to spam out one more Psychic Fangs. Let's see if the opponent wants the shield. Yes, they do. So now we are just going to give shield advantage to our Piloswine and hope we can do something with the back line. Down goes Luxray. The opponent is energy dry. I don't know if they've got Focus Blast or not, but let's see how many Volt Switch they throw. That's 2. That's 3. Nope, they haven't built up to the Focus Blast. This is just a brutal swing, so we are going to commit. No shield, look to commit to the Powder Snow farm down. Hello, Mr. Opponent, why are you staying in? The opponent brings in Charizard to a loaded Piloswine. Questionable. We throw the first Avalanche. That draws a shield. We are already at the second Avalanche, so I am going to throw that as well and pivot out into Charizard. Avalanche does massive damage. The opponent can throw whatever they like. They actually bring out a Alolan Golem, but Charizard up 2 shields isn't going to give a shit about your rock type, and we go for the Blast Burn. Resisted Blast Burn does around 50% of the HP. I am going to shield up whatever they throw. The opponent throws the Rock Blast, of course, but we're already at the next Blast Burn, and this is going to vanquish Golem back to its Pokeball. The opponent does need a Blast Burn to take out my Charizard. I imagine they're going to go for a Dragon Claw. Let's find out. Yep, just a Dragon Claw, as they probably didn't even have the energy, and we wing attack down and take that game. Moving on to the next one. Golem, ouch! We get out immediately into Luxray. This one is also on rollout. I am going to throw the Psychic Fangs before a potential Stone Edge. You've seen Golems love to bait with a Rock Blast. The opponent is firing a charge move, I'm going to call. It's just a Rock Blast, and the opponent nukes the shit out of me with a Stone Edge. Now I get sniped with Giratina, but we can now align our Piloswine on this Giratina. I am going to go straight for the Avalanche, hoping to draw a shield from the opponent, but they let it go. It doesn't quite one-shot. This is just going to be an Ancient Power. It won't do too much damage, but when you're having a fucking shit day at GBL, obviously we get another boost, and the subsequent Dragon Breaths absolutely wreck us. The opponent brings in Charizard. Surely this draws a shield. Avalanche is going to do massive damage. The opponent looks like they're planning to 2-shield Golem. The opponent is going to fire a Blast Burn. It doesn't one-shot, but does do massive damage. The opponent is going to come back in to the Golem, hence I'm saving my shields. I'm just going to go straight Dragon Claw. Dragon Claw draws a shield. Can we make one more Dragon Claw before we get rollouted down? Yes, we can. Charizard now on minimal HP. The next rollout does take us out. Golem has a boatload of energy. We need to make the Avalanche. We're going to have to shield up absolutely everything. I think we're at the Avalanche now with that Powder Snow, so I do double shield. It's going to be Powder Snow versus Wing Attack, as this Avalanche is definitely going to one-shot the super squishy Golem. He may as well be a shadow. He's pretty fucking glassy. Wing Attack versus Powder Snow, and we end in a tie. Very frustrating, but I'll take that considering it was a Golem lead. Moving on to the next one. Another dreadful lead. Ampharos, definitely not what Charizard is looking to see. I pivot out into our Luxray, and the opponent answers with Virizion. We are just going to spam out as many Psychic Fangs as possible. The opponent smartly lets the first through, however they do let me get to a second one. We've seen that Sacred Sword doesn't knock out, but does do massive damage. I throw one more Spark and the Psychic Fangs. Is the opponent going to give up a shield? Yes, they are. Can we make one more Psychic Fangs? Come on, Luxray, get there. We do make the second, but we've seen 2-stage debuff. It still doesn't knock out, which is quite frustrating, but the opponent chose to double shield, so we are sitting in a good spot. Fuck it, Charizard. I'm going to call the bait. The opponent does bait me. We are now going to be able to Wing Attack farm them all the way down. I am going to be spamming out into Piloswine, and it is a charm, Alolan Ninetales in the back, and this is where we are going to get a very easy win. I'm going straight for the high horsepower lands for massive damage. I could shield this up and take him out, but we may as well save 2 shields for Charizard and take my frustration out on the Ampharos. I don't even bother to throw any more Powder Snow. I want all the farm I can possibly get. A9 is going to make one move, so we are going to shield this up, and we're going to leave pretty much with the back-to-back Blast Burn. So when Ampharos does return, we're going to absolutely nuke the shit out of them. One more Wing Attack gets us to the back-to-back. This Blast Burn is going to do massive damage. We've got the second, so they can have that as well, and that is going to be all she wrote. GG's, and thanks for playing. Moving on to the next battle, we see Shadow Aerodactyl. Fuck my life. We pivot into Luxray, Wild Charge. Not going to one-shot, so I'm going to go for the Psychic Fang the first time, and then we're YOLO in the Wild Charge. We're either getting Switch or doing big damage. There is no option. Pick your poison, Mr. Opponent. We throw the Wild Charge. The opponent does give up the shield. We do get charmed, farmed all the way down. The opponent is now one stage debuffed on defense, so I'm going to hopefully be able to wing attack farm them all the way down. We are going to tank the Weather Ball. Weather Ball doesn't do all that much damage. The opponent is getting to the second. This is not great. I am going to have to shield up. They're now 6 away from the next move. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I am going to have to throw, which is super annoying. So we are going to take him out with the Dragon Claw. Dragon Claw takes him out, and we're spamming out into Piloswine, and the opponent is now going to bring back in that very annoying Aerodactyl. Avalanche would definitely one-shot. Powder Snow is super effective, but the rock throws are doing more. It looks like the opponent is committing to the farm down. We are going to get rid of the opponent. They must be weak to ice in the back. What could we possibly beat? It's a Togekiss. We get a little bit of Powder Snow damage. You can see Charizard is super low. I'm not sure if I survive a charm. We land the Blast Burn. We actually did survive the charm, so if I would have thrown one wing attack and the Blast Burn, we probably would have tied, but instead I lose another match. So those were the battles with a unique triple shadow, triple glass cannon, spicy team. A lot of content creators don't put in battles where they play poorly or get wrecked, but we like to bring a variety of content on this channel. I've got to say I did make a few misplays here and there that was quite critical in the video, but if you're going to roast me in the comment section, feel free to run this team. Do any better and I'd gladly shoutcast it, because with an F for Bolt, shield decisions are terrible. But I did think I'd put this video out. See a lot of people, especially in Pokemon Go PvP Fight Club, go check it out on Facebook, saying they're getting hard countered, they're getting tilted with losing. Everyone loses. I'm not saying I'm the best in the world, but I am able to reach Legend fairly easily, and even I get wrecked from time to time and make a load of shit plays. So the moral of the story is just take one day at a time. Don't let the losses get to you. So if you're enjoying the content, smash that like button if you're new, consider subscribing, and I will see you all in the next one.